Good afternoon and welcome to the presentation of Gem4me business model that was given by Alexander Kachanovsky, the member of the board of directors on August 24th of 2017. My name is Oleg Lipovetsky and I will be translating on behalf of Mr. Kachanovsky. Alexander Kachanovsky speaking. Good afternoon, dear friends and colleagues, and welcome to the presentation of our business today. We will discuss our forecast of the business, and lately we are extremely excited while doing so, as we have had some colossal changes, and today I will go over these changes with you. Firstly, I would like to remind everyone of the fact that there are constant technological revolutions happening in the modern world. You are aware of these revolutions and the groundbreaking changes that they bring. We all use the results of these revolutions today, starting with personal computers and internet to social networks. As of now, there are two revolutions currently going on. Firstly, we have the revolution of messengers that is completely changing how people communicate with one another. It is well known that messengers will be on the podium of this revolution for a long time, as the revolution began in 2011 when WhatsApp was revealed, and it still continues strongly today. The second revolution that became very profound as well began in 2009 when the first blockchain system and first encrypted currency known as Bitcoin was released, and it continues on now. But it became especially strong over the course of 2017. The project that I will be discussing today is the combination of these two revolutions in one, the Gem4me messenger. The main topic of today is the fact that after developing the project over the course of 3 years, we will be releasing an ICO, and we believe that this is the finalizing stage of the project, as we are combining the development of the messenger with the ability of fast forwarding the financing further improvement of it through ICO, and it is a very profitable stage of development for us already. Before discussing the topic of ICO in further detail, I would like to depict a very notable example that happened in the world of encrypted currencies in 2010. There is a programmer from Florida known as Laszlo Hanich, and after Bitcoin was released on the market, many enthusiasts started mining the Bitcoins. It was very hard and took a long time. As a result, Laszlo Hanich came up with a solution to shorten and ease the mining of Bitcoin through graphic cards. He came up with a new algorithm, and as he was the first one to come up with one, it made it easier way to mine Bitcoins. He got a lot of them, about 1,000 Bitcoins in 10 minutes. At some point, he had half of all Bitcoins that were available back in 2010, but people did not know how to spend them once they had the Bitcoins. Laszlo had so many Bitcoins that one day he posted on the main Bitcoin forum that he would exchange his 10,000 Bitcoins for 2 pizzas. 5 days later, a programmer from England decided to purchase 2 pizzas for him, and Laszlo transferred him the 10,000 Bitcoins. However, if only Laszlo did not spend his 10,000 Bitcoins and held onto them, then today, at the price of 1 Bitcoin being $4,266, his 2 pizzas would be worth $42,660,000, aka more than $20 million for 1 pizza. That's the story, and it depicts how drastic the changes are in this world today and how blockchain is changing today's values. A huge movement is happening there right now, and a lot of people are bringing their money in order to earn on that market. Before I discuss ICO and how you can benefit from this process in more detail, I would like to talk about the current stage of our main product that we wish to fast forward through ICO. Our Gem4me messenger just received a rebranding and we made it more modern, but most importantly, the foundation of our messenger is constantly increasing in its value. When we started our project in 2014, we understood that making yet another messenger is not enough, and we understood what we need to do in order to make our messenger distinct from other alternatives and so that people use ours. The two main aspects that we came up with are currently finalizing and are firstly, the bot platform, aka the system of communicating through bots on this platform of the messenger, and bots allow to make it so that new services are added not by us, but rather for hundreds and even thousands of entrepreneurs to offer their products and services to the users of the messenger very fast, simple, and free. Instead of having to look for something, One will just tell the bot what they want and the bot will find the products or services that are requested. We spend a lot of time creating this bot platform. The next very important aspect of the messenger that we are developing are the financial services within the messenger. As we know that modern smartphones are progressively becoming electronic wallets that allow to instantly purchase products or services and even transfer monetary funds. We introduce these services in our messenger and will continue to further add similar services to the messenger for the purpose of making various financial operations in one application. On the foundation of these two platforms, we define our direction as it is built on bot platforms and financial services, aka the marketplace, which allows for sellers and clients to meet one another and host a lot of stores on the platform. By developing our messenger, we are constantly asked these questions. How fast the creation of Gem4me Messenger will be, how to increase its attractiveness due to new functionalities, how to fast forward the process of the messenger popularization all over the world. Not only do we want to sell the messenger, but also we want for the messenger to be very attractive to millions of people. We understand that there are a lot of competitors today and we need to promote our messenger very profoundly, which requires a lot of funds for promotion, even more than for development. Due to this notion, we came up with a solution. The solution to this dilemma is releasing an ICO. What is an ICO? An ICO is a true revolution of crowdfunding and attraction of investments for various startups. Today, it is much easier for startups to attract the necessary funding. Previously, it was incredibly difficult for startups to receive the necessary funds as they had to find investors and keep on proving to them that their project is worth being invested into. Some investors would have a lot of doubts and would invest anywhere from $10,000 to $200,000, all while requiring colossal shares of future profits, and all of this changed completely when the crowdfunding tendency arrived. This notion stands for attracting small amounts from numerous investors all over the world, and now ICO made it even simpler as well as made the process massive. So, what is an ICO? ICO stands for Initial Coin Offering, which is similar to an IPO, Initial Public Offering, which you most likely heard of. That is the time when the company joins the stock market for the first time and nobody is aware of it, and the company has to be functioning for at least 5 years. It also has to prove itself worthy for 2 years in order to be allowed to join the stock market. ICO is the same, but it stands for attracting investments to highly technological projects or startups by a company offering their encrypted currencies or tokens in return. Tokens are the analogy to shares of the financial world, but it is a digital code like bitcoins are. However, as you saw previously, such digital codes are worth a lot of money. The price of Bitcoin started at 8/100th of a cent, not 8 cents, but 8/100th of a cent, and today the price of Bitcoin is at $4,266. That is the value of this digital code, as Bitcoins don't exist in a physical form that can be held. Tokens are the same digital codes through which the buyers of those tokens receive certain benefits. Those who purchase tokens do so for a reason, as they want to receive something in return. There are two kinds of tokens that exist. Tokens as products, for instance natural resources that will be drilled out later and be sold, or the shape of share that is purchased initially, and after the price of such share grows due to the growth and value of whatever company is building, the price of tokens grow respectively. We will be discussing tokens and ICO numerous times over the course of the following months. This table depicts comparison of ICO as the type of attracting investments to other types of attracting investments. As I mentioned earlier, that is IPO, private offering, and crowdfunding. If ICO is compared to others based on global investor base, execution speed, deal fees, and other aspects that you can see on the slide, ICO has all the advantages compared to other types of attracting investments. Therefore, the first ICO was released in 2014, and in 2016 there were a lot more ICOs. However, in 2017, the ICO processes started happening several times a week, and you can see the amounts that surpass billions of dollars of investments that poured into the projects. This graph is dated as of at the end of July, and it does not include the ICOs that took place in August of this year. As you can see, the examples of ICOs depict what amount certain projects are able to attract to their campaigns and how fast. Not only the amounts are astonishing, but also the time frames of how fast these amounts are raised, from days to 35 million in 30 seconds for the innovative Brave browser. This depicts how fast these processes are and how monetary the ICO process is. Over the course of the past 3 weeks, we've been meeting with various ICO specialists. Even though ICOs are not yet regulated by governments for now, it is regulated by the crypto community, and they have certain rules and norms that have to be followed. There are 3 main teams that help projects like us release their ICOs. The first is technical, which takes care of programming and issuing tokens. The second is a very powerful legal team that helps to make sure that all the processes involving money are done in accordance to the laws. And finally, the marketing team that helps to promote the project so much that by the time an ICO is released, people purchase all tokens in a matter of minutes. These teams have told us that we have a colossal advantage over other ICO projects today, as many projects today are only on the level of ideas. But we have a currently functioning and continuously developing messenger with a large user base. The 3 million user mark that we will most likely achieve very soon is a huge amount compared to other applications, as they receive several thousands of users and die shortly after. We are offering for our investors that purchase tokens during the ICO a very simple idea to invest into something that already exists and help us finish the messenger faster. This is our main and first advantage. Our other advantages are the fact that we have one of the most powerful developers working on our application, the Synesis company in Minsk, that developed world-class projects worth billions of dollars, known as the Viber Messenger and Playtika gaming platform. These developers are currently creating our project. The third advantage is the fact that our messenger has already been evaluated by an independent audit company worth $50 million, and we have already started the process of the second audit evaluation, and we are sure that the value will be much higher as our user base grew since 4 months ago, and all the official evaluation documents are posted on our website. And the fourth advantage of ours is the army of fans, the people that invested in our project and are currently promoting, testing it, and inviting other investors to join our project. These aspects differentiate us from other projects greatly and are the reason why we expect great results from the ICO. ICO as the option for fast financing will allow us to solve the following aspects in our project. Firstly, it will increase the speed for developing the messenger and finish everything faster. Secondly, it will increase the speed of promoting the application, as today buying clients through advertisements costs a lot more than development. Next, we are aiming to create completely new financial services that will improve and make our application more attractive, as well as interest numerous people to download our application. All of these aspects will make our application worth more than it is today, more attractive, and the higher the value of the messenger is, the higher the profits from your shares will be. The financial services that we will be creating after ICO and receiving the necessary financial resources are the following. Firstly, the cashback service, which will allow for you to earn a certain percentage from your purchases and receive it back to your card. This function is of big interest to many people these days, and we are planning to settle contracts with major companies on numerous markets from various countries. Next function that we will create, and is highly popular these days due to a large amount of encrypted currencies existing today, is the exchange platform, which will allow to exchange encrypted currencies to one another, as well as to common currencies such as dollar, euros, and so on. This is a much needed service in modern days, and that is the reason why we want to be one of the first ones to introduce it to our users. And finally, the digital bank that will allow to open accounts for users remotely, receive bank cards, and make all core banking operations. A very profitable area of business due to the fact that large amounts of people are not physically going to banks to make their banking operations, but do them at home from their computers these days. Let's discuss the perspective for partners to participate in our ICO. As you can see on the slide, it depicts the simplicity of owning shares, passive earnings, increasable earnings for participants, and lastly, the ability to sell tokens. Once again, take a look at the structure of what is going on before the ICO is released and what happens after the ICO is released. Firstly, the pre-emission process, during which we offer tokens for free to those partners and shareholders that are currently with us, and if they want to participate, they have to meet a small amount of conditions. The pre-emission will be going on approximately until October, and this stage allows for current shareholders to receive tokens for free if they complete current promotions. Once tokens are not given out during the pre-emission process, the emission stage, which stands for the sale of tokens, will begin. We are planning to release the shares to outside investors on ICO, and these crypto investors will be able to purchase tokens. There is a major advantage today of purchasing shares and receiving tokens for free rather than doing so during the emission stage. And finally, the monetary funds that are received from the ICO will be directed towards two main goals. The first goal is finishing the development of the application and its promotion, and the second is creation of new financial services that I discussed earlier. In addition, these financial services will generate passive profits for token holders from their operations, as the services will be created alongside the messenger and the earnings will be long-term and constant. Next, after the messenger is sold, the biggest type of earning that we all are waiting for will come, and token holders will receive profits from the sale of the messenger in accordance to the amount of tokens that they own at the moment. The company obliges itself to buy out the tokens from their owners. Today, at the pre-emission stage, we are offering for you to register your ownership of shares through tokens. The shares of the Gem4me Investments PLC fund remain yours as before. In case you own shares today, you remain the shareholder. However, you have the choice of how you wish to own these shares. The first option is completing certain conditions during the pre-emission stage and receiving 100 tokens for each share owned, which means that those who do complete those conditions will have both shares and tokens, while the shares are owned through the tokens as well. As I mentioned, tokens are obliged to be bought out by the company. Investors that join us during the emission process will purchase tokens for around $1, while many of you who do complete these conditions did not pay for these tokens and receive them as gifts. Next, according to our calculations, the value of the application after we create those powerful services and have 200 to 300 million of users will be approximately $12 billion, and it will be divided by the same 4 million shares of the founding capital. However, those who will own tokens when one share is 100 tokens, therefore a token is not $1 but $30 now. That is the shareholder earnings that will allow for token holders to receive the same earning that shareholders will, but through tokens. Also, as I mentioned earlier, the additional dividends from the new financial services will also be a profit. Once again, this structure is depicted here for everyone to understand it. A separate company is created which will most likely be named Gem4me Foundation, which will release its ICO and receive the funds. As you can see, the gray circle depicts what current shareholders will receive and the future ones. The shares are not taken away, just their ownership will be registered through tokens. Next, I would like to talk regarding the profitability of the new financial services. The profitability rates of these three services are estimated from the currently existing services, and given that the token holders will receive up to 20% of profits from these services, the dividend amounts can reach 25 to 30% annually. A token worth $1 will earn you 25 to 30% annually of a long-term and constant passive earning. The profit will continue even after the application is sold. Thirdly, the growth in earnings. Numerous partners are currently receiving immense profits on the wave of these pre-emission conditions, and once you join, you will also be able to receive such profits. The ICO itself will help us finish the application faster and promote it further, which will increase the shareholder earnings respectively. Please be advised that the starting promotion is effective until the end of August, during which purchasing a package generates additional 10% of tokens as a gift. For instance, if purchasing an invest package, one will receive 5,400 tokens plus additional 20% from that amount as a gift. This will be in effect until the end of August, and it is very profitable to take advantage of this promotion currently, as both buyers and sponsors receive tokens. The fourth aspect that a lot of people are intrigued by is the ability to sell tokens on special stock markets after the ICO is completed. Those who currently own tokens today will have the ability to sell their tokens there. The price of tokens will continue to grow as we will be publishing new evaluations regularly, and the growth of our user base also helps. For instance, with 2 million of users, our application was valued at $50 million, and now we have 3 million users, and the value of both tokens and the application will continue to grow. Tokens are very profitable, and some will not want to sell their tokens, but there is such an option in case somebody needs to get money fast. And lastly, the aspect that a lot of people are wondering about recently: what is best, shares or tokens? We are offering you a chance to make the decision for yourself, as you saw the 4 advantages that token holders have. On the other hand, those who do not want tokens, and we allow for people like that to remain with their shares and register their ownership of shares to complete the verification process of providing the 3 necessary documents regardless of how many shares a person owns. The 3 documents are an identifying document, which can be a passport or a driver's license, next, a document that proves the resident address, and finally, the 3rd document is a professional recommendation from a bank or a licensed auditor or lawyer that states that the person knows the person for no less than 3 years and the person is trustworthy. This is a recent requirement from the legislature of European Union. All these documents must be submitted in English language. Those who wish to register their ownership of shares through tokens must know that at some time the registry of shareholders will be closed off. The fact that one owns shares today does not guarantee that that person will receive money for them prior to the moment of the application is sold. As soon as we announce that we are negotiating with buyers about the price, the registry of shareholders will be closed. Therefore, one needs to decide whether they want to register their ownership of shares through tokens in an easy way, or submit all the required documents prior to the moment of sale of the messenger before it begins. As you can see on the slide, there are 2 different directives from the European Union that are obligating for everyone to provide the professional recommendation. The directive was accepted in 2015, however, different countries of the European Union started enforcing it at different times and in parts. This came to force in May of this year in Malta. Once again, the conditions for participating in the pre-emission are depicted on the slide. It depends on the status that a partner has, either sponsor or purchase the required conditions himself. Partners with a Go status are required to generate turnover worth 135 euros or more. Partners with a BIS status are required to generate turnover worth 405 euros or more, and partners with a premium or invest statuses are required to generate turnover worth 1,215 euros or more. In conclusion, I would like to mention that we announced the news regarding releasing our ICO 2 weeks ago, which is a lot of information and some doubts may have occurred as a result. We live in a world when major and constant changes are happening all the time. Those who want to stay in their comfort zone and not move in pace with the latest changes stay behind, as they don't want to act. Others took these news with great enthusiasm, and the board of directors is very motivated by such reaction. We will get through this process with flying colors. We will definitely sell our messenger, and we will do so absolutely everything possible to attain all the goals we set for our company. Those who will stay with us will tell their grandchildren about our project and how it changed their lives. Thank you very much for your time today. I wish you great financial accomplishments, and don't forget that the most profitable conditions for current promotions are effective until the end of August, as September conditions will be slightly less giving. Keep spreading the information about our project and we will all succeed.